Why do you think your child is exhibiting some kind of characters that you don't used to know your child to have? Could it be that you've lagged behind in checkmating your child? Could it be that you have neglected your child so much that work, other things have taken over that you fail to checkmate your children? We parents should do better. Honestly, we should. Once again, guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Shala Oshe, your host, Amakeveri. If this is your first time stumbling on my page, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, even go as far as sharing, and God bless you. Like I said earlier, I said that we parents should do better. I'm not yet a parent anyway, but I hope to be a better one when I begin to have my kids or when I decide to start having my kids. Coming from somebody who had a very horrible experience growing up, who was bullied, who was neglected, in so many ways. And I used to say this, that one of the reasons why this channel was established or has come to existence is coming from a place in my past and even my present. And I know that there are a lot of kids out there, or people rather like me, who needs to hear this, who needs to be encouraged, who needs to be uplifted. Some people have lost their path as kids, because of probably maltreatment while they were growing up, or abuse, or some kind of trauma, mental instability, drugs and all that. Not everybody has the strength to withstand the storm. Some people break along the line, and it's so pathetic because we have a lot of people who are out there who needs help, and they were basically damaged because of how they were brought up or what they saw growing up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. When last did you checkmate your child? When last did you even spend time with your child? Most of you just try to, once your children get to a certain age, you just send them to boarding school, and you feel the school will take care of everything and take care of them. Well, I am that woman, or I am that mother who would never ever take her child to a boarding school or encourage anyone to take his or her child to a boarding school. Don't get me wrong, boarding school is actually beautiful, but the society we live in today, you tend to see a lot of things happening in this boarding house. Now the society has changed. We have the Gen Zs who live some kind of way, and they have this mindset and mentality on how they address issues or how they iron out issues. So it's so crazy that there's a lot of bullying in schools, and our parents don't even know what their kids are going through in school. Not everyone has the strength to withstand all those kind of would I call it discipline? Because I don't think that's discipline. I think sometimes it comes out like discipline, but turns out to be more of a bullying. So many children are bullied in schools. In fact, it happens in even regular day schools, not even boarding schools. It even happens there, but it's worse in boarding schools because nobody is checkmating the students. This child is in the boarding school. Everything about him surrounds the boarding school. And have you even thought about it that most of the time when these kids have the breaks they have and go back home, they don't spend so much time at home. So basically your child spends more time in school than even at home with you. And most parents, you find out that they are eager for schools to resume so that their children can go back to school because they feel the child is so much for them. The child is too much for them. They need their peace. They need their space. Why are you pushing your child away without even checkmating your child? Do you know that your child has started exhibiting some characters that before you sent that child out of the house or to that boarding school, or before you sent that child to school, that child wasn't really exhibiting those characters. Now that child has mixed with other kids, peer pressure. Some of them end up having some kind of gang, they create a kind of group. These things are crazy, and these things happens in school because this is coming from somebody who went to a boarding school from a very, very young age. Recently, I got a mail from somebody anonymous, and the person said, recently I found out that my 12-year-old kid has been smoking weed. I know very well that my child was not exhibiting these characters before I sent him off to a boarding school. Now he's back home and I totally don't recognize my son anymore. He now smokes weed. He does some kind of very, very annoying things, very strange characters that I know my son not to have them. What do I do? Now, this woman sent her child to a boarding school, and this child was probably 11 when he went to boarding school. Now the child is 12 years old. One day she stumbled on him smoking weed in his room. Don't forget, this child wasn't exhibiting these characters before she sent him off to boarding school. This is where the question comes. When last did you checkmate your child? When last did you even interact with your child? Are you your child's best friend? Can your child tell you everything and anything? Can your child open up to you? Are you so uptight that your child is scared to open up and talk to you about how he or her day went? I think we parents should do better. We should be a bit friendly and a bit relaxed. Let our children be safe with us. Let them feel safe to talk to us. Let them feel safe to tell us anything. Don't just send your child off away to a school, be it boarding or day school, and not be your child's friend. Try as much as possible to have conversations with your children every day. How did your day go? Do you have a friend? What's your friend's name? Do you need help with anything? Do you want me to put you through with anything? Even if he doesn't or she doesn't, try as much as possible to find time to be there for your children. A situation whereby this woman didn't know her child has been smoking probably for over 6 months. And this happened when he went to school. Dear mom, this is an open letter to you right now. I would advise you first and foremost to withdraw your child from that school. Try as much as possible to homeschool your child for at least 1 year. While you homeschool your child, train your child in such a way that he or she will have the fear of God in him. Try as much as possible to be your child's best friend. Checkmate your child, talk to your child, make him see reasons why he shouldn't smoke weed. I think you should start from there before you can now finally, when you find out that the child has adjusted, you can now put the child in a school that you feel you can easily access. Have access to his teachers, have access to the kind of friends he keeps. I think you should start from there. I hope this meets you well. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. I'm going to brief you a bit about my childhood. So basically, I'm a child who was brought up from a home where I didn't really grow up with my mom. It was more like growing up with my stepmom. So my dad was not always around. He was probably mostly on contract jobs, traveling and all that. Fast forward 2 years later, I was sent to a boarding school where I practically had to learn and unlearn things for myself and by myself. Don't forget, I grew up without having a mother figure, in the sense that my stepmom wasn't really my best friend. Let me put it that way. It was more like I learned things all by myself. When I started my first period, I can never forget, I had to study, because when I began to see blood coming out of my body, I had to study and ask questions. I went on Google to ask what this was all about. I had no mother to put me through on how I should clean myself when my period comes, or how I should take care of myself, or I need to take hot water when I have cramps, or what I need to do. I had no mother to put me through. Sorry to say. Now, fast forward to years later, I was sent to a boarding school. I started mingling. I started having friends. But this is very sensitive to me, talking about this right now. This brings me to a place where I have to talk about parents checkmating their children. Because the truth about it is, they end up mixing up with people from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different orientation. Some children have a mindset of their own. Now you can imagine a child who is in boarding school and he or she is in school for over 5 months. You haven't seen your child. Basically, you don't even, maybe only visiting days. Some parents are so bad at this parenting that they don't even go to visit their children. So basically, these children are actually taking care of themselves. They are growing by themselves. They are learning and unlearning things by themselves. And it's not meant to be like that. We are supposed to have time for our children. Why bring a child into this world when you know you will neglect that child and let that child be on its own? Even if you had that kind of upbringing as a mother or as a father, I think you should do better as parents. Have time for your children. Let them know things. Let them hear you speak. Let them hear you talk to them. Don't just say, okay, they're in boarding school and school will take care of it. Now, what am I trying to say? Try as much as possible to be there for your children. Provide for them. Give them everything. Not really necessarily everything, but majorly what they need. Not what they want. Give them what you think they need, basically, and send them to school. Even while they are in school, try to checkmate them. Call their guardians in school to ask about them. Learn more things about them. Are they doing well in their academics? Are they doing well? What kind of friends are they keeping? Go for their visiting days. Don't neglect them and leave them in school and expect them to train themselves. Of course, a child who is 11 and you send him to school to train himself, because most of the time the school just does the best they can. That's the fact. The seniors are the ones who train your kids in boarding school, not even the teachers. The teachers mostly are just there to lecture and they leave after their time. They leave the class. Another teacher comes to lecture. So the seniors are the ones who say, kneel down there, sit down there, raise up your hands. And some of the seniors are bullies. Now, how do you expect a child who was raised with love? You push that child into the jungle where wild animals are. Of course, if that child cannot beat them, he will join them. And that is where you see your child begin to exhibit some kind of characters that you don't know your child to have. So please, parents, let's learn to have time for our children. Once again, my name is Shola Oshe, your host, Amokeberry. Thank you so much for being part of this so far. God bless you. Don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, even go as far as sharing, and God bless you. See you in our next video. Bye for now.